You're good. Make sure your microphone's on.
All right, hello. We're going to call to order the Tuesday, March 11th meeting of New Shorehams Conservation Commission. I am Susan Gibbons. I am filling in as chair for Taryn McGregor, who is not here today. So if the rest of you could introduce yourselves.
I'm Amy Keeler.
Carlos Salinas.
John Huff.
Fred Leader.
Okay. So our first order of business is to consider the David and Diane Boston application, and that is you, I assume. So I have some questions, others probably do too, but why don't we let you talk first and
Sure.
I already answered them.
So for the purposes of identification,
Oops.
we gotta tighten that up. I'm Eric, no, don't worry. I'm Eric Wallen. I represent Diane and David Boston. What they are proposing, the application you see in front of you, is a addition to the existing house. It's
Right.
going to add room for bedrooms. It's going to add a little more space for the house. The house itself, as you can tell by the dimensions, is very small. The addition that they're adding is also very small. The impact to the property or the reason why we're in front of you is the property, although it consists of 5 acres, in the front consists of ocean,
Yep. Yeah.
high water mark
walked it.
inland.
Yep.
And then you measure an additional 100 feet in from the coastal feature, which is much further in. And now we find the house is located within your coastal zone.
Sure.
Under your coastal zone regulations, you really can't build anything. There really are no uses that you can construct except for, say, a walkway to the beach. So we are in front of the zoning board in a couple of weeks to ask for a variance from that restriction. In the application process, Jan suggested that we that this application come before the board so that you have an opportunity to look at it and give a recommendation to the zoning board, whether or not they should approve it or deny it.
Okay.
And so myself and Sergio Sharenzi are here to essentially answer any questions you might have, because you wouldn't otherwise have that benefit from just the application.
Yeah, that's great. Okay.
Can I ask you one kind of softball? What's your best argument for the variance?
Okay, so the reason why we're asking for the variance and why we hope it's granted is the way the property exists physically. We have ocean front and an additional 100-foot buffer. Behind us, we have what are shrub wetlands and also a stream. The DEM imposes a 100-foot buffer around that small stream, a 50-foot buffer around the shrub wetland. And so with that constriction, we have a very small envelope to build within. In addition, what you'll see there is the house, a small area behind the house for parking, and then there's a garage close to the right of way.
Yep.
That garage, when that application for the garage went in, DEM actually issued a preliminary determination back in 2012. They said, we recognize that there is no other place for this garage to go because you don't have the room behind the house to put it.
Can I stop you just for a second?
course.
What year did the garage go in?
2012.
What?
2012,
2012. And what
Correct.
year was the house built?
1985.
1985. Okay.
Right.
All right. Thanks.
So that I don't know if that answers the question, but that was, I think your question was why would we not build it somewhere else? In other words, is there an alternative to doing what we're doing there?
So I understand and I think it's pretty clear from the documentation that there's no other alternative.
Mhm.
But one alternative that's not being discussed is building. Or
Building,
not building,
oh, not building. Yeah,
especially since it's falling within the restrictions of the
right.
CRMC and what have you.
So the house itself is very small. It's very modest. I think it's a 700 and something square foot footprint. Where we are constructing the addition, it's already mostly covered by deck now. So the additional impact in terms of building in that area is insignificant. It's very small, probably less than 400 square feet in additional footprint. And Sergio here actually is my numbers person. He can explain that. But on the application, you can see we're actually removing 220 feet of deck
Right.
in order to construct this.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
So a couple of my questions were related to the septic, which undoubtedly you can answer. One is that I assume there's an old septic, there's an existing septic system in place. And does that one come out all the way or does it stay there?
So for the record, Sergio Trenzia with Trenzia and Associates, offices at 99 Mechanic Street in Pawcatuck, Connecticut.
Is that mic on?
It's a hot mic, I believe.
The
Yep.
light on? Yeah, it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's just me then.
Yep. To answer your question, yes, the septic system that's currently there dates back to the original construction in 1985. My father actually designed that system and it was installed per that plan. Over the years, it's been tired, and I believe what prompted some of this is that there was a leaky tank associated with it, but we're going to be totally replacing that system with an upgraded state-of-the-art system. We actually had an approval for a new system as part of that repair situation. Since then, the Bostons have decided to modify their plan to put the addition on. Both of those, so we have an approved septic system that was a conventional one signed off by both New Shoreham and Rhode Island DEM already. So we actually have an approval in place. But what we are doing under this application is modifying that with a redesign and adding a denitrification component to it. So this system will actually be, although we're adding a 5th bedroom to the home, which is not actually to the residence, the main residence itself. It's to the ability to add it to the garage, a bedroom to the
You're
garage.
adding a bedroom to the cottage.
To the
right?
cottage
Yeah.
garage, we call it. The ability to outfit that with a bedroom. This system will be a 5-bedroom system, denitrification, so it'll have far superior treatment than what was previously approved
Right.
by DEM. And to get to the point of your question, the other system will be either abandoned or removed in accordance with DEM regulations.
All right. So what was my other question? And in the garage, is there a bedroom in the garage now?
I do not believe so,
And
no.
what about a bathroom?
I don't,
One of my questions was, is that garage already tied into the existing septic system or does it not use anything?
the best of my knowledge, it does not have a bathroom. It's not tied into any wastewater.
Okay, but if they're if there's a bedroom going into the garage, is there a bathroom going into the garage?
Nothing planned at this point, but it's, I don't think we have any plans. The plans were just for the addition to the house. But they would like the ability to retrofit that in the same structure, just do a kind of a renovation. There wouldn't be any additions to it.
So the new septic system, the engineered septic system, if it's for 5 bedrooms,
Mhm.
that would include the bedroom in the garage.
4 bedrooms in the
One
main house
and one in
and the option to have a 5th bedroom in the
Okay, so if
garage.
you did add a bathroom in the garage, the septic, 5-bedroom septic would account for that already.
You could put technically speaking, you can have as many bathrooms in a house as you
Right,
want.
yeah, no, I
It
understand.
goes by the number of bedrooms. So if they were to put a bathroom in the garage and not a bedroom, it would still be a 4-bedroom home. But if they were to put the 5th bedroom in, the septic system can accommodate it.
Okay, all right, yeah, because it's hard to imagine if they end up with a bedroom in the garage that they won't put a bathroom. I mean,
I just wonder why
would.
they would tie that in now during construction.
Yeah,
I mean,
so,
it would make
so,
sense that they,
yeah,
Up
and,
for
and, and I'll just tell you that my focus is on the application for the addition. I did not have any conversation with them about the garage at all. What I think Sergio is saying is that whether they're tying in now or later, and I don't know that they're doing it now. but
Right.
As you point out, it would be a good idea if you're building the system, run the lines, do it,
what
make it ready.
What
Here's
it
your
would
mic,
do
Amy.
is run, it's on. What it would do is, it would run right through that stream. The
You
way
can't.
the way
Yeah,
I
you could-
walked it.
No, we
Yeah,
can address.
And it would have
Okay.
to be pumped up.
Yeah, we've already received commentary from Rhode Island Department of Environmental Management on that. That line needs to be sleeved. There currently is utilities that go under that crossing.
So you can
There's
use that conduit.
we can't use the same conduit, and it's
But
gonna
you
have to
can
be,
use That stream.
oh, yes, there's actually not there is the stream, but there's a culvert that runs
Yes, I
through
saw
there.
that.
Yeah, I
So you may be upsetting the culvert, but I think we might be able to excavate underneath it and leave it in place.
Leave the culvert in place?
Possibly,
So
yeah.
I just wonder how you are going to protect the wetland, the stream there, because in the back, there is a gorgeous pond as well. I'm sure you've seen with the stone wall going through it.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. There's wildlife back there. It's really beautiful. And then it runs off into that culvert, the pipe. And it's almost as if it dries up in the summer. I wouldn't be surprised. And then it crosses underneath their driveway.
Hmm.
And then it goes to the right of your new septic plan.
Yes.
So
exactly.
how do you protect with all that big machinery and all that going on? How do you protect that
So-
area?
We will have to put appropriate sediment and erosion controls in. Any disturbed land, we usually will flank it with silt fence and or straw wattle, so that if there is any siltation, it doesn't end up in that stream. And there'll have to be appropriate measures in place to protect that resource.
I imagine originally those two ponds were joined, the one below your septic, your new field. Beautiful pond.
Oh, between where the driveway now bisects it,
Yeah.
I'm assuming such it was probably.
It connects now
Yeah.
underground.
But
I
it's,
would
it's,
think,
it's
yeah.
already been bastardized, not in our,
Abs-
you know.
Yes, it's a condition that we're gonna put back exactly the way it was, with the exception of getting the pump line through. And pump lines are generally small lines, so you're not gonna have a major excavation there. It'll have to be done surgically. I'm not gonna tell you it's, yeah, it definitely does. We're not gonna go through and rip out the culverts and go through. It needs to be done with care. I think it's an inch and a half, maybe a 2-inch line that would run from the pump line up to it. So it's not going to be a major excavation. We got to get it down about 4 feet for the frost protection. Yep. Because it is at a low point. I did try to redesign it in such a way that we would put the pump chamber in such a place where everything could drain back to it. The DEM didn't like that because it was encroaching too close to the stream. So they rather just see us sleeve the line, run through there and just make it deeper. And to go under that culvert, we're probably going to have to be 3 or 4 feet deep anyway.
Yeah.
Something's just occurred to me. Am I correct that regardless of whether the Bostons put the addition under their deck, they need to replace their septic system?
They need to replace their septic system.
Yeah.
It'll be,
The septic work needs to be done.
that will be contingent,
regardless of whether this addition is part of the picture or not. Is
correct.
that right?
Really?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So the
Whether-
original one is failing.
Yeah.
Whether, now the original one hasn't failed. It did have some issues. That was originally the work I did with the Bostons to get the permit for that. They since decided to add in the line to the garage. So that is not part of the original approval. I want to make that clear. We are redesigning and asking DEM to entertain, and the town, the line that will run from the barn to the new septic system.
Okay. Yeah.
Because
Um,
that real waterway will have to be crossed. It's kind of
Yes.
sad. It's just sitting there with the little tiles, sort of like,
I-
it's just so sad.
I didn't take that lightly when my client asked me to do that, and we're trying to be very thoughtful and careful with that.
As I said before, in history already sort of crushed it.
Yeah.
It's sad.
But yeah,
But
but
did you walk back to the further pond? Isn't it?
Yeah.
it is stunning. The far pond is really stunning up there.
It
Yeah,
was
but
really neat
stunning
space.
Property, it's
grass
just
and
beautiful.
Ducks and it just was
It is
a
beautiful.
wonderland. Gives me
Um,
shivers just talking about it. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
What did you
it's a
say
beautiful
about
piece of
that
property.
Far pond was what?
Sorry?
The far pond
Was.
was beautiful.
Oh, beautiful.
It's gorgeous, yeah. It's a- oh, yeah. The
It's
one
never- it's
that,
not in
it's
the
not really
house.
on the map, it's over here.
I
It's,
can't find
when you're in the,
anything.
well, yeah, this,
Says it's
this
here,
map is a
right?
little confusing.
I don't see anything about the water. That's what's so interesting to me about these maps. It's all about the coast. There's nothing about.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if I may,
It's
the
over-
reason why it's focused on the
there.
coast
This
is
the-
because
This is the piece of property, or that, this is a path.
Yeah.
That leads from the stream here up past this cliff
Mhm.
and to a tree, basically. And
It's just the
this
north.
seems to be, it's, I mean, it's very pretty, but this seems to be what they're talking about abandoning in order
Correct.
to improve the buffer from the coastal feature, right?
pond
But
is
the
down
pond
here.
is right over here, yeah,
Okay, I
and,
just want to make sure that there is, I think, this kind of opens up and dissipates, but there is.
yeah, well, and the other one's
Well,
right over
it's-
here. Right.
What's going
Yeah.
on is that somebody put the house right in between two ponds originally.
Yeah,
I wanted to address your question or comment. The reason why the focus is on that coastal zone is that's why we're here, is that coastal feature, prohibits normally any construction there. So the wetlands, we're well outside any of the wetland problem. I mean, when I say well, there's not a lot of room, but we've managed to be doing the work, the proposal to do the expansion of the house
Mm.
is not impacted by the wetlands, except for the fact that in a property that had none of these problems, you could build anywhere. You could put the house anywhere on the lot.
Yeah.
But because of the stream, because of
Mhm.
the shrub swamp, now we're pushed towards the coast. Because of the town's regulation for a coastal zone, now we're pushed back. And
You're squeezed. I
yeah,
see.
yeah.
We're-
It's
and
squeezed
again,
in between
the-
freshwater wetland. and-
yeah, I haven't been able to answer the
Sure, yeah.
question, but the house was built in 85. The zoning ordinance was revised in 89.
Okay.
Which Jen and I were talking about this today, but I didn't get an answer, which is the coastal zone may have been imposed after the house was built. So
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I didn't.
I said the coastal zone itself may have been created in 1989, 4 years after the house was built.
Okay.
Um,
Do you know, Amanda, do you know when the wetlands started being watched so carefully?
I do not know that off the top of my head,
It's
but
late sixties, early seventies for the
I would tell
Wetlands
you,
Act.
yeah.
Yeah, it might be
it's the-
late sixties.
As long as I've been an attorney, there's been a 100-foot buffer around streams and a 50-foot buffer around wetlands.
But is it, well, didn't they change the
They did.
wetland buffer to 100 feet recently?
The-
I think
Yeah.
it's gone, I think it's gone back and forth.
It's
in
gone
my-
back and forth,
In
yeah.
my looking at paperwork in the office, I think it started in the sixties and I feel like it's changed twice in that paperwork.
Yeah.
But don't quote me on
Yeah,
that.
but anyway.
And one of the changes that I've seen is that we used to have to subtract that 50-foot buffer from developable land for houses on Block Island. We no longer have to do that. So that was helpful to homeowners.
Yeah. So it kind of, here's where I'm landing on this. I mean, other people say what you think, but I think the addition, which just fills in space underneath the deck almost, right, is sort of, I mean, it's a little more than that, but it's not, it doesn't change much about the house other than giving more living space instead of patio and underneath the deck space. It kind of is the least of the problems of the project. I mean, the project seems to be the septic system change from the traditional system, which isn't failing but could, right, to an engineered system, which that seems to be a necessary evil on this property right now. I mean, the fact is, the house is there, the bathrooms are there, the septic system is there. This house needs to drain its water appropriately, and it's already there. So I tend to think the addition is not that big a deal, but that the DEM approvals and as you said, the surgical approach to that engineered system, which is, that's not where the engineered system is going. I saw where it goes, but it's not where the original system is, right? Where is the existing septic
Well, the
system?
existing one, it's on the other side of the house.
That's what I thought. So the existing one is even closer to that stream. The existing septic system is a nightmare location for this wetland.
The stream goes right through.
It
the
does,
system.
it does. So getting rid of that is certainly a win here, I think.
I think it's a significant improvement, correct?
I just wonder,
what's there
and I
now?
know nothing about putting in septic systems, especially engineered ones. What the impact of that whole slope will be. You get a bulldozer in there and you just start digging it out? I don't know.
So-
I honestly don't know.
Yeah, so in order to accommodate the leaching field, which we did have approved under a previous application, that leach field requires that we level out a space over there, which does require some of that encroachment. We admit that. And then we have to grade that slope out so that it can be stabilized. But that will all be revegetated right back to buffer and let to grow wild. We're only gonna keep what we need as far as the system goes. I think it's within 5 or 10 feet of it. And then the rest will be revegetated on that slope.
And you said they already had a permit to replace the septic system with another traditional system.
Correct.
Is there a permit for the engineered system yet?
Not yet. We're still, so this is the chicken and the egg situation that we're in. I applied for the septic permit. They come back with comments. They gave us comments, and one of their comments is, we would like CRMC to weigh in under a preliminary determination. We say, okay, well, we can't go to CRMC yet. We have to come in for town, get also our town approvals in line, because the town won't issue a letter to say, go to CRMC until they approve it.
Sure, yeah,
So-
yeah.
So
you're-
you all
yeah,
approve
You're
it.
stuck behind 6 different.
So we have filed for the preliminary determination. We don't need town approval for that. We are waiting for that response, which we can then share with the commission and with OWTS DEM.
Okay.
Once we have those two things, we go back to DEM. They say yay or nay, and then we can get our final permits with
Okay.
the town and through CRMC.
All right. So I don't know how the rest of you are feeling, but I'd be tempted to make a motion to give a positive Conservation Commission advisory on the addition with the caveat that the permits are received for the engineered septic. Because I can't imagine this working out with the permit that's already there for upgrading the traditional septic system. It does seem like that thing's gotta go on this property to keep this wetland. Frankly, I'm more concerned about, like Amy said, the wetland than the coastal feature. I mean, the coastal feature might be the biggest bugaboo in terms of talking to CRMC, but the house is set back from the cliff and it's fairly well vegetated, and the coastal feature doesn't seem to me to be as much of a problem as the swamps that surround this place. But so if you didn't already have a house there, I feel like you'd be in major trouble trying to put anything in there. But the fact is, the house is already there. So if
Existing.
what, it's pre-existing. And so the add-on for this addition, if that's pushing the engineered system and the safer technique, then it does seem like a win on the property. The property right now is extremely well stewarded. It's very well cared for. Right? It's beautifully, it's naturally landscaped and carefully kept up. So I don't think there's any reason to assume that wouldn't continue.
It's also screaming for that addition.
It is kind of
You know,
yelling for the
it
addition.
It would really look.
I
good.
really appreciate that.
You've obviously done your homework, okay, and I agree with Sue that we could give a positive on it with the provision, okay, that the rest of these permitting processes go through for the engineering.
Can we do it that way, Amanda? Yeah, right.
And you just darn well better have white gloves on when you do this.
Yeah. Now, the abandonment of this path, is that plan mostly, frankly, to appease CRMC?
I would say.
It's a little, we're throwing a little bone to CRMC by abandoning that walking path? Yeah. okay.
Correct. Yeah, we're trying to enhance and replace buffer that CRMC wouldn't necessarily be entitled to. So they've the Bostons are foregoing some of that area, which doesn't they don't
Not
really
much
use
impact, yeah.
much.
And when they say
Uh,
foregoing, are they just gonna stop mowing it? Like, what's the,
well,
it's, all it is right now is a mowed footpath.
Plant it maybe.
So are they gonna plant it or are they just gonna stop mowing?
you could do either or, but usually we come up with a buffer restoration plan to get it jump started.
Okay. Yeah.
But that will easily fill in within probably a couple seasons if it was not maintained.
Oh, yeah, if you don't mow it, that'll
But-
fill in with brush pretty quickly.
But there is the area where the old septic or the current septic, which will be the old septic, and that I think is either going to have to be removed or abandoned and then implanted. Because that's a larger area.
Yeah,
that
and
needs to be
as you
addressed.
said, the whole project, removing the old septic and putting the new one in is surgical.
I know there's a map of
Correct.
the old
Scary.
septic.
Yeah,
here
what?
somewhere. I
No,
know
it's
The
over
septic's
here.
about here.
it's a sensitive area. We identify all the limits of disturbance, all the erosion controls need to be put in per plan. And those are regulated by the state or Rhode Island and CRMC. And when we go to put the septic in as the designer of record, I'm required to come out and do inspections when that happens. And the state does as well. Often they'll waive things, or I know Mark Tilson used to do the inspections out here. I don't know if the DEM is actively coming out to inspect, but I think they're making more of an effort to do so.
Yeah, sometimes, but they're pretty,
So
they're
what-
pretty not terribly well staffed, I think, so.
So I'm working on a couple projects and they just sent out some folks to review wetlands. So I know they're sending
Yeah,
folks
yeah,
out.
they come.
Yeah,
They
so-
show up now and then, so.
I'd much rather have the oversight and not it all be on me because then I take all the liability. I'd rather have the state officials come out and say to the installers, no, you need to do it this way or that way.
Yeah.
I will do that, of course, because that's in my purview, but it's also helpful when you have the state officials having your back.
Yeah.
To the same.
Well, I personally run by instinct, and when I looked at the property, I saw that culvert and I thought, this poor little stream, this beautiful, pond that's not even on the map, any of them. And the stream, the wetlands, it's not on the map. It goes right here through the driveway. And then you've got this gorgeous,
Yeah, there's
pond
another
here.
pond over there, yeah.
And I see the little connection, and it's in a plastic pipe like this, and it's just
Very,
it's
very, very
really
pretty.
sad. So, I mean,
We-
it's almost to the point where you might as well just have them be separate ponds now. I mean, you're gonna go through a lot of trouble joining those two, and gosh, maybe there can be some sort of restoration there. But I don't know that anybody's gonna pay attention to it.
I think we leave it in the capable hands of CRMC, but if you have recommendations, we'd happy to consider them.
See, take care of the wetlands also? I really don't know.
This
They
is-
don't do the freshwater.
Just-
Well, no,
Right?
in this case, it's all under CRMC
It is?
jurisdiction.
Oh.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, so CRMC does take jurisdiction over certain inland wetlands that are within what they call the vicinity of the coast. And there's a jurisdictional map. Sometimes we work on projects, I have one currently, that is in both jurisdictions. And you go to CRMC and you go to DEM and say, who wants it? And sometimes you have to file both permits. That's happened, or sometimes a lot of the times DEM will say, no, just have them do it. We don't have once again, the staff, the manpower to do it. We'll just defer to one of the government
Maybe
agencies.
Tied to the stream. No.
It's just gonna be floating.
Because I don't think it's really,
So,
it just becomes a thing.
Amanda, if our recommendation could just make it really clear that it's absolutely pending careful CRMC approval of the whole septic change, right?
I believe they're.
Or the whole project, but also.
No,
Think
they're putting in a new plan. So it's CRMC and DEM, right? Because OWDS
Because
comes.
DEM is involved also, right?
DEM has jurisdiction over the septic system
Okay,
only,
okay.
but the wetlands and the coastal feature is all under CRMC jurisdiction.
Okay, so yeah, we need to
And-
mention both of them.
Okay,
Yeah,
It goes without saying that we will have to get those permits, but if you have any specific concerns, we'll be happy to consider restoration plans, that kind of stuff. Any specific features, we can give special attention to those things. We're already doing it, but ultimately it's going to be within CRMC's purview to review and approve
So
such.
that big sticker on the front door, I thought that that was a done deal
I don't know which sticker
What
you're
sticker?
referring to.
from CRMC.
Oh, there's a permit actually on they might have a maintenance permit for something. I don't know. It could be for replacement of windows or doors or roofs.
CRMC though. Oh, they would.
Yeah. So if there's any
They need
maintenance,
approval to move a rock up
yeah.
there. Yeah.
If there's any maintenance going on with which I may have not be privy to because it doesn't elevate to needing an engineer. But if they're replacing windows, siding, roof, that's all exterior, you have to go get a maintenance permit to change any of those things.
And one other quick question. So we always talk about this addition just taking up the terrace area. Will there be another terrace after that? I mean, the entrance of that sort of all winds into that terrace. I mean, that
There's
just-
no, yeah, there's a set of stairs that's shown on the plan that you have. That's all that's planned right now.
Okay.
If we wanted to do anything else, in other
Yeah,
words,
it
if
doesn't go
Boston's
out
wanted to
over here
add more deck, they could not do it without going back to zoning. So any construction in the coastal zone would require a
Okay.
variance.
Have to
Thank
come
you.
back
So we would be back in front of you, at which point you say, you told me that wasn't going to happen.
Hope not, for your sake.
And just one last thing maybe to add to that I'm not sure ended up in there.
Well, you have to make the motion. I know you
Yeah, I will.
started to,
I
but
will,
yeah.
but I'm thinking when we make the motion, the next time to add in the CRMC and DEM approvals and restoration plans for the property.
Okay,
That we're dependent, that we're putting both of those in as caveats to a positive Conservation Commission advisory. Everybody comfortable with that?
I'm probably gonna abstain from the vote, given that it's within that, sensitive area of the CRMC. I'm not sure we need to be building more. I mean, I think that's I understand the landowner's interest in expanding their comfort and what have you. I have nothing to say about that, but, I think one of the problems we have on the islands is continuing to build and build and build and build. And I can't, again, say anything about the property owner's motivation. Is it to flip it later or, I don't know. And just what I do know is that I just see more and more construction. And when we have that happening in a sensitive area, I'm very conflicted about that,
Yeah.
and I appreciate the care and concern. I
Yeah.
would have liked to have seen the landowners here,
Yeah. I was
given that it's a
surprised.
sensitive issue.
Yeah, I thought they were coming.
But I certainly, deeply, appreciate your presence and your expertise, and great to finally meet you,
Yeah,
Eric.
nice to meet you.
But that's where I
Yeah.
fall. So I'll probably abstain on any positive recommendation.
I'm on the fence too.
Just a point of order. I don't think you may legally abstain if you don't, unless you have a conflict with it. I would think what you're saying would be should be a no vote. I would think, if I remember,
I
a
think
bit of a parliamentarian.
Right.
Amanda, do you have any?
Pretty sure Brandon, right, but.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you might have.
The-
Abstaining would
Aye
be,
or nay.
oh, I can't because it's next to me.
Right,
have-
I know
sort
those
of
are
have an-
my understanding is if you're abstaining because it's a conflict and that,
That's,
but I would have to go grab the rules of order
Yeah.
to double check.
My thought on it is that if we have a majority and we have an approval, for my client's sake, a no vote on your behalf would certainly be, fine and understandable.
that's a problem. Sure.
The only, not trying to change your mind about that at all, but I should say, they've owned the house for 17 years. They, as mentioned, they've taken good care of the property. The amount of money that they're spending here to do what is a 300, 400 square foot addition is really intended to reflect the fact that as we all age, our children grow up and they have children, and so families grow larger. And so right now, my house is empty. I've got three boys out there, building their lives, but at some point they're going to start coming back and we're going to run out of bedrooms real quick. And that's the case for the Bostons. They're all under one roof. They're not building this as a spec house. They're not building this to rent. It is to reflect the fact that their families grow. So, again, that's what I would share with you, but I would certainly understand your position that and it's understandable. There is an awful lot of building here and a lot of big houses going up, so.
Yep.
Well, I think in this case, the angel is in the detail. What you say to me is compelling. If I cannot abstain, then I'm probably be with the majority and vote for a positive recommendation with the caveats that Madam Chair is proposing. But I appreciate that, Eric, a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
And it would be great by next meeting if we could have real clarity on whether or not an abstention is because that would be kind of, for me, a lot easier than voting yes.
My understanding is that abstaining normally is if there's a conflict.
Right.
That's what it's been in other meetings that I have clerked for,
Yeah.
but I can definitely research that more for the next.
All right. So do we need to go back? Do I need to go back and restate the motion? Because it has gotten pretty confusing.
Should have packed a
Okay.
lunch.
Yes, please.
I'm going to do my best. Okay, so to me, the motion says that Conservation
Wait,
Commission.
Hold on. You have to make a motion
All right,
with their name, the plat and lot,
all right.
all the
So
official
the
information.
motion is being made that David and Diane Boston, plat 19, lot 35, fire number 1199. Receive a positive advisory from the Conservation Commission on their addition project with the caveat that DEM and CRMC approvals are received, that the engineered septic is approved, and that, what's the word, renovation? Restoration efforts are completed at the end of the project.
Second.
Seconded.
Correct.
Now you have to take a vote.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed?
Thank you all very much for that.
Good luck. I think
Appreciate
you
it.
have a number of more steps to get through, but there's one. There's one. It's a complicated project.
Take care of those wetlands for me.
And I just have to ask this question. Who drew this map?
Oh,
Not you? Because
Doug Gilbert.
the
Doug
colors.
Gilpin,
I
okay.
got a problem with the colors. The
Yeah,
house is
somebody's got to tell Doug that we got a real problem with the colors. Because making all this blue makes it look like this house is floating. Right? I mean, I went up there saying, where the heck? I don't understand what this is. This looks like water. So I guess that's just for Doug. It's just a silly little point. I'm like, Doug, use green.
That property.
Surely there's two colors of green.
Black animal, okay, and I thought they were Sue's ponies,
Oh,
okay?
gosh.
But they may have been two strays from Joe Spriggs.
No, you know what? There, I have learned, there is a new small black horse off of Champlin Road that belongs to one of the high school students.
Oh, yeah?
And I wondered if that might be what you saw. It's possible. Okay, well, thank you for the information. Thank you for your patience.
Can't know Joe's count, okay?
So just for your information, Clean Water Act for Rhode Island wetlands, 1972.
72, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so that jumps us to item number 3, which I think we're not doing anything about.
I just need to explain.
Amanda will explain.
We received a notification from DEM about an application for assessor's plat 2 lot 2-2 for a proposed building project. We did not get the notification in time, so it was only a 15-day comment period. I got it the day after the 15-day was up. Unfortunately, we think we have clarified the notification system, but we're not. So I wasn't, but we wanted to let you know that this did go to DEM. I did a records request for the application so that you could have the information. It's just informative. You don't have to vote or do anything on it.
Can you give me a better explanation of where this lot is? Somebody said they walked it.
Which one? The one on the neck?
Yeah.
I found it on the plat map. It's past.
It's
the-
down by
past
Tom
the dirt
Rism.
Road that goes down to Clayhead Trail.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, yeah.
It's beyond that, another like 2 driveways or
Yeah.
so, and then there's another piece that goes in there. It's in there.
Okay, back in there.
Yep.
But it's not on Clayhead Trail.
Yeah, it's farther north from
Yeah.
Clayhead Trail.
I saw a driveway, but no number.
Yep.
I was looking for wetland.
I thought the
comments.
DEM comment period was 45 days.
I think it depends on the project.
Does it depend on the project? Yeah.
Because some that we, because I don't know if it's because it's a freshwater, I'm not, or instead of, I'm not sure. But this one was 15 days, but I didn't get it in time to be able to get you guys together.
Okay. All right. And then item 4 is just an advisory
Well-
committee.
Could we,
Yeah, sorry.
can we, so basically, is DM charging ahead without town input on this?
I'm not sure. I wasn't given the notification in time.
And had DEM given us a time period, enough time to comment, what would we have come up with? Because as I was looking at their explanation, it just seemed like it's my way or the highway. It's like we must build and, and there's no other alternative. There's no.
Well, it's a buildable lot, so they are allowed to build on it, but because of the restrictions, they have to go for DEM. So
Right.
that's, I'm assuming, what they're doing. But normally we get the notifications. I just didn't get this one in time. I don't know if anyone else in the town
But
has
27
responded to
says
it.
There's no other alternatives to minimize impact other than downsizing the scope of the project. We don't want to downsize. It's like, well, too bad, right?
Right. I'm not sure if anyone else, other boards have seen this one.
Can we find out? Because it just seems like this is kind of, it
Yeah.
smells funny to me.
I can ask.
Carla.
I can ask, but either way, the time frame for us to comment has passed. So we can't do anything about
Can we
this
ask
one.
DM what happened? Like, why did they send it after the comment period was?
They didn't send it after the comment period. I did not receive it in that time frame. So they sent it
Mhm.
on February 17th. If you look at that front page, that's when the application got sent, the letter. I think I put it in there, but if I didn't, it got, the letter that we received was dated February 17th.
Where would, I don't see where that date is.
It's in the,
That's January 19th.
no, the letter, my letter of notification, which I guess I didn't put it in the packet, I'm sorry, says February 17th.
And it just didn't come forward.
It just didn't get it. I didn't get it.
So,
How did,
I
But-
received a letter of notification from DEM, which I apparently didn't put in your packet. The date on the letter that was sent is February 17th.
But you got it on,
I didn't get it until last week. So, but 15 days from February 17th,
we don't know where it was.
I don't know. So I can't answer that part. All I know is that we've reached out to them about notifications.
And what did they say about that?
That we've updated. We put Jen's email on notification so that we get notifications sooner.
So somehow they mailed it, but it didn't get where it was supposed to be.
Yes.
Which is,
I was involved in a case once where we had to respond by a certain date. And we didn't get the letter till the day after the response. And then that first judge said, well, that's too bad, you missed it.
Right.
We appealed and he was slapped down. What do you mean? That's ridiculous, right? So it seems to me patently wrong that this process is being short-circuited because of a problem with the mail.
I don't disagree, but I can't change that. All I can do is try to fix it for the future. But this one, it also isn't, I don't know why it's only 15 days. That,
Can we ask DM some pointed questions about this particular project?
I don't know. I can try. I don't,
if we're in the comment period. It's
That's,
very hard to
it's
get-
likely, but I think it goes beyond
Yeah.
this, because I could see if I was, I don't know, if I had a pet project and I had some pet people, that'd be kind of pretty easy to get whatever I wanted, let's say a Champlin's expansion approved, by making sure that, you know.
I mean, I can write the questions down. I don't necessarily know that I'll get answers if you want.
Yeah,
I
I guess
wonder if we
it-
should send a letter.
maybe the question we could ask to DEM is, since there was a problem with the receipt of the information
Yeah.
after the mailing period, it was dated February 17th, but it didn't end up on the right desk until whatever date it actually ended up on your desk, which is
Right.
last week, right?
Yeah.
And so therefore, we lost our ability to comment.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Carlos is right, that it's worth asking DEM, what can be done about the fact that a commission.
We can ask whatever you want.
Lost their ability to be involved in this project because of what maybe is a mailing issue, or maybe is just a
Cancel.
paperwork issue, or
Right.
maybe is an error. It could be a lot of things, right?
Right.
But you're right that it can be a way to sort of slide something through
Mhm.
So-
and hope nobody's paying attention.
Okay. What would you like me to, what do we do?
Yeah, just reach out to see if there's any, if there are any,
Recourse.
is it, yeah, good.
Yeah,
Is
what
there any
recourse is there?
recourse on the fact that that 15-day period got lost in the shuffle somehow, right?
And also, Amanda, you mentioned that,
Hold on one second.
yeah,
I don't write that fast.
sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
And Amanda, you also mentioned that, that we're befuddled by the fact that it's only 15 days, that
Mm.
it's usually a longer time period for.
I mean, the other couple that we've had have been 45 days.
Can we- Let's ask about
Yeah,
that
let's
too.
ask about
Why-
that, because
why is this-
it is typically, I've
It
never
just
seen a
seems very
15-day
short.
comment period. It's so short, right?
It's really short.
Usually 45 days.
Okay.
And also given the judiciousness that I've observed of my fellow commission members, they actually go to the places, they walk the places.
Right.
15 days is nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, you could be on vacation and miss the whole thing,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
I'm a little confused about who prepared this document. Did the DEM prepare this, or was this presented this way to the DEM? Because the tone of it, as Carlos said, is, you know, a little dictatorial.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who did which. I submitted a records request because we didn't get this information.
before us, I think those are the questions that we would ask.
Right.
You know, who prepared this document? And yeah, you say there's no adverse impacts. Who decided that? Okay, you know what I mean? It's, you know, you're coming before us and you're stating paragraph after paragraph, there are no design changes that could be any different than what we're proposing.
Yeah.
And, you know, okay. Says who? You know, we don't know. And I don't see a stamp on here or anything. All I see is.
Yeah.
You know, I see the application at the back. And I'm wondering if this was prepared for a write-in, then fine, okay, I could accept it the way it's written. But it's not clear to me that, you know.
Okay.
And that.
Okay, yeah, let's just call them on it a little bit and see if they'll
idea.
do anything.
And the thing is, we should also think as a commission, if they diss Amanda and they don't respond, I think we continue to insist on a
Yeah.
response. I mean, a non-response from a state agency, that's just not acceptable.
Yeah. Well, it'll create a paper trail too,
Yeah,
Great.
which is good, right? It'll create a paper
Yeah.
trail that we reached back out and then at that, and they ignored us. So.
Okay.
If not.
I will work
Okay.
on that.
I'm guessing
All right.
Thank you so
that
much.
this document was prepared by these people, DP Development LLC.
Have that.
Maybe that's the person that.
Thanks that you have it.
Curious.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
that's that.
Okay.
Okay.
And just
I,
another question, was, didn't know, this was prepared, sincerely, Kenneth R. Cole Jr., environmental scientist, said, you know, what are his credentials? I mean,
Who?
it,
Ken Cole.
Ken Cole, well,
Here.
yeah, Ken Cole does a huge amount of work for DEM
okay,
and he has a lot of credentials.
okay,
Ken.
thank you.
I will say that, yeah.
he does.
Yeah, Ken Cole is a very highly credentialed,
You see him,
wetlands guy.
you see him a lot on the paperwork. He works with, is it Atlas Land
Yeah, he
Surveying?
worked, yeah, Atlas
He-
Surveying, yeah. Yeah, actually Ken, it probably doesn't have anything to do with the price vegs, but Ken is a very good and professional guy.
Did
Yeah.
anybody look at this site? I couldn't find it.
I couldn't find it either.
Nobody's seen it then.
I didn't get up there. No, I didn't, but one will assume if they're moving forward, they still have to go to zoning and, right, I mean.
Yeah,
they're not-
nothing has come to the town about this yet.
What?
Nothing has come through the town
Yeah,
about
so
this
it's-
yet.
It's not approved yet, this
No.
project, it just,
So this is just informational?
Yep.
I wonder then if.
It's,
one of-
it's informational because they went to the DEM. That's so for our sake right now, it's informational. If, I'm assuming if DEM approves them, then they will start the steps for the town, which then they would come before you.
I wonder if one thing that we could do too, to maybe, again, leaving a very clear paper trail is to, a quick communication to zoning about what happened to us on this. Just heads up, we didn't even have a chance to look at it,
Yeah.
just so that they know that maybe they need to look at it a little more carefully.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
talk with Taryn when she comes back and we can
Yeah.
draft.
yeah, I think that's a good idea to make sure zoning is aware
Yeah.
that it should have come to us, but we weren't able to review it.
Yeah,
Because that we can't do any kind of
can do that.
advisory because we couldn't see anything.
Right.
draft a memo to zoning.
Yeah. Yep, that's a good idea.
Okay,
Okay.
I
All
can
right,
do that. Number 4
number 4,
is another informational. Millie asked me to share this with you. The dates, they're working on hazard mitigation and flood management for the town, and they just wanted you guys to have this information.
okay. All right, so the draft will go up online, basically.
Will this be a meeting or just online?
The draft will be on the website for the certain dates to review and comment, and then there's a link for you to
Public hearing.
do that. And then the public hearing is April 7th.
Yeah,
Okay.
at town council. Yep. Okay, all right, so that takes us to approval of the
Of
February
minutes.
4th
I
minutes.
brought copies.
I did
You want
see
to take
them.
one and hand one
I
down?
saw them with what you sent out. I didn't have any problem with the minutes. Did anybody else get a chance to?
How many
read them?
pages are there?
I think it's 2.
Say, I'll take them all.
I don't need one because I looked at them.
I wasn't here, so.
Yeah.
You should check my spelling.
Yeah, I'm not the guy to check the spell.
I can spell
I
most of the time.
The scores you put up on Words with Friends, you can spell.
didn't.
I can spell.
On this coastal resource, is that gonna be discussed tomorrow at that big meeting that they're having here, that 3 hour meeting? You think that'll be covered or
Probably not.
probably not?
Not that I know of. Okay, so
That
I
was-
would, I'd like to make a move to approve the February 4th, 2025 minutes.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I wasn't here, so.
So you weren't-
Okay.
Definitely not
That's
voting
fine.
people.
Not approving what you're working on. All right. And so that should take us to the fact that I can make a motion to adjourn. Wait,
Sorry, before that, do we have any further thoughts on that joint meeting with Coastal Resilience? Because I was at their meeting, a few days ago, I guess,
mhm.
So
maybe last week.
we talked at our last meeting about dates that worked for our group. And we had the meeting and then I went on vacation, so I have to talk to Laurel.
Okay, okay.
So we're working on it. I have all the dates that everyone here gave me. And I'm gonna talk to Laurel, who's their clerk, and we're gonna,
But nothing beyond just the dates, right?
right, no,
That will be the substance or.
not yet.
Not further.
Okay.
It's too far away.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's not too far away. It's 2 months away, but we were trying to get the date set first.
Well, I can relay that to them as well, since
Yeah.
I told them I'd try to find out.
Yeah,
Work.
no, we were talking about the date more to make sure we got that first, because that's
Okay.
the hardest part. And then once we get that, we'll do that.
And Amanda,
you.
you're going to put my checklist draft on
Yes.
the
You're
next meeting?
on the April meeting.
On the, and
once-
what is the date of our April meeting?
Sorry,
I should know. that.
second Tuesday is hold on, let me find it.
April. Thought I had all these in here.
April 15th.
April 15th. Okay, that's fine. Yep.
So Sue had came up with an idea for a checklist to help us with things.
Can
So
can they look at it or
it's got to be on the agenda.
it's gotta be on the?
So
agenda?
for the next meeting,
I-
it's on the
Oh,
agenda.
Well, since it's really basic, but just something to kind of keep us focused on each project that comes before us to make sure we've considered all these things.
That's awesome.
Some of which, might not be might not apply, but
Question, couldn't Sue just share that as an information point between now and the next meeting?
I can share it with you because she gave it to me.
Okay,
We're trying to limit the amount of emails, chatter, because we're
Right,
not supposed to.
but,
But I can share it before the meeting and it'll be in your packet for the next meeting anyway.
well, I was thinking, it sounds super helpful, especially to people like myself. I'd love to have it sooner
Yeah,
rather than later.
I can email it to you when I get back to the
You
office.
know?
Yep, that'd be
That'd be
great.
awesome.
Yeah, and it says draft all over it, so
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
free to pick it apart or add things or take things
No,
off or.
beautiful.
it was
Yeah,
just made
I'll send it out when I go
my-
back.
My brainstorming of what should we be thinking
And,
about.
and it makes me think that is precisely the kind of document that lends itself to the collaboration with Coastal Resilience. Because they might be saying, hey, how about this item?
Right,
You
we're
should
not
be
thinking
looking
about
at
this.
this
Yeah.
item, you
Yeah.
know? So I think that's
Yeah.
a great.
Without it being complicated.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, we're making a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Okay,
Second,
okay. That works.
so moved. Supper.
I vote
I didn't vote.